the Tristen Law Show. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler, and today, I'm your host. Let me ask you this. When WWE takes over Paris, do they give us a show? Or do they give us a statement? Because last night at Clash in Paris, 30,000 strong, packed into Nanterre, France, and what we got wasn't just another premium live event. It was the closing of the chapter of the Peacock era, and maybe the start of something much bigger today. I'm breaking it all down, match by match, moment by moment, and trust me, if you weren't in Paris, if you didn't get to watch it live, you're definitely going to feel like you were. If you're watching this live, or if you're listening to this on the audio-only version on YouTube, feel free to jump into the chat. I love hearing from you. I love hearing exactly what you have to say. This is two-way. I don't just talk to you. I talk with you. But looking at that first match, the first match that I definitely want to talk about, that I think it was the way that we went off the air last night. And what we went off the air with last night was with Seth Rollins. He retains his WWE Championship after pretty much having his wife have to help him earlier in the night. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, the Bron Bros, so they got ejected from the arena, and Seth Rollins needed help. Was Seth Rollins going to be able to go into this match and help himself? I think that Seth Rollins is pulling from the Roman Reigns book, but maybe that same exact book is a book that was written by Paul Heyman. And the reason why I say that, when you look at Roman Reigns and his whole entire bloodline lineage, when he was the champion for almost 4 years or whatever it was, there's a lot of times that Roman Reigns was in that match and he never won the championship by himself. Any match that he can put himself into a situation to where he can get the Usos and the rest of the bloodline to help him, that's what he did every single time. And it seems like Seth Rollins is doing the same exact thing, so much that he had to have his wife come out there and help him. And nothing's wrong with that. Look, I think that this whole entire thing now, it changes the story just a little bit. The question that you're asking yourself now is who? Who is going to be the person that is going to have to help Seth Rollins? At this point, knowing WWE, it can't be a man. The reason why it can't be a man is because they're not going to have a person stomp out, and they're not going to have another man stomp out Becky Lynch. So who will it be? I think that only one person makes sense. And the only person that I think makes sense to do it is this person right here. I'm talking about AJ Lee. You may not know her, but she's a retired pro wrestler. She's also the wife of CM Punk. The wife of Seth Rollins is the one who low-blowed CM Punk. So maybe that's what we can get. I think that they tested AJ Lee a couple months ago when they brought her up. They just brought up her name and it got a little bit of a reaction to it. And the thing that I'm looking at is it's always, as a pro wrestler, it's always, will the people remember you? That's the most important thing. Will the people remember you? And I even saw AJ, she was working out. She was training or practicing with CM Punk. If AJ Lee was looking for a way that she was going to work out and be fit, there are many other ways that she can choose that does not include her having to wrestle in a pro wrestling ring. So that is why I've been hot on this for a while, saying that we are going to get AJ Lee back into the ring pretty soon, and she's going to be the person that's going to make this husband and wife team versus husband and wife team. At the whole entire match, though, I felt like LA Knight and Jey Uso, they were just supporting actors. They were just supporting. They were just here just to hang out. And if you're watching this on your television, I'm sorry, this won't apply to you, but if you're watching this anywhere other than your television, we got a poll going on right now. If you're watching this on your TV, open up your phone real quick and vote on the poll. I want to know what you felt about WWE Clash in Paris. Did WWE deliver with Clash in Paris? Yes, Paris was a huge success? No. WWE failed its Paris debut, or mixed? You know what? Some matches delivered, some didn't. Feel free to drop it into the comments. I love to hear what you have to say. But LA Knight and Jey Uso, they were just supporting actors in this whole entire thing. This whole entire thing really, it really wasn't about them. It was just that they were just there, just to be there to help further the story. And CM Punk had his opportunity, right? Jey Uso had his opportunity. Seth Rollins, he's in his opportunity. What about LA Knight? All I'm asking for everybody that is watching right now, or any LA Knight fans right now, or people who may feel like they're souring on LA Knight, you just gotta wait. Just wait for LA Knight. When LA Knight gets it, it's going to be so amazing. It's going to be so great to see somebody like LA Knight, when we remember him coming all the way up from the bottom, NXT. He was coming up in NXT, WWE on the main roster. Nobody cared about him. And now we care about him so much that we just want him to win. It's going to happen. The time is going to happen. You just have to wait. What WWE is doing right now, the way that they're building and structuring their rosters, is that it's all plug and play. They can plug anybody in at any single time and say, you know what, this person's going to be in the main event this week. This person's not. We're going to put this person in there. And they're doing that. You have a main eventer out of LA Knight. You have a main eventer out of Jey Uso. And the names just go on and on and on. And when we talk about the Bronson Reed and Seth and Roman Reigns match, we're going to talk about a little bit more about how Roman Reigns is building the future of the main events. But I got one disconnect. I got a disconnect from that whole entire match. Mentioning the Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns match, Roman Reigns got taken out in an ambulance. And ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns was not taken to a medical facility. I want to clap it up for the WWE right quick. For years and years and years, we've been hearing our favorite superstars getting taken to a local medical facility. But Roman Reigns was actually taken to a hospital. They said it on WWE television. Now, maybe they don't have medical facilities in France. Maybe they just have hospitals. I don't know how it works. I just show up here. But Jey Uso came out to the aid of Roman Reigns. He got speared. He got his ribs taped out. Here is my disconnect. When he comes out for his entrance, his grand entrance, this is my disconnect. For his grand entrance, he went out there, he wanted to do the whole entire, the yeet thing, right? I love it. Don't get it wrong. I love to yeet, just like anybody else. I yeeted standing in an arena in MetLife Stadium with everybody else. It's okay to yeet. But my issue when it comes down to the yeeting, not eating, but yeeting, right? My issue with the yeeting is if your ribs hurt so much, are you going to hold your hands over your head? That was a disconnect for me, right? And then the announcers had to even go further. Oh yeah, his ribs are taped up because he took a spear earlier from Bronson Reed. Okay, so if his ribs are bruised and if he's beat up so badly, the question is then why did he have to yeet? Why couldn't he just do one hand or do a modified version or just come out through the regular entrance? Come out through the regular entrance, or if they were hell-bent on having him come down through the crowd, why didn't they just let the crowd yeet and him come down and hold his ribs? But the whole entire time, he's up there day one and ish, Uso and yeet, and all that other stuff. To me, that just didn't make any sense. That lost it for me. That's my only critique. I love WWE. I love pro wrestling, so I'm not going to just hate on the pro wrestling, but I love the pro wrestling. I love what they're doing. But here's my question that I'm going to ask you. Do you want AJ Lee to be the one standing with Punk against Seth and Becky? Or should WWE shock us with somebody else? I think right now that is $1 million question. And the reason why I feel that's $1 million question is because if it's not her, then who else? Right? Is it going to be Nikki Bella? And after Nikki Bella's performance last night, Universal, what's going on? Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Is it going to be Nikki Bella? Look, after Nikki Bella's performance last night, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it could be Nikki Bella, because Nikki Bella had beef, with Becky Lynch early in the night, and their story is not finished. So maybe Nikki Bella could be the person that gets plugged in. But why do we not have AJ Lee? The reason why we don't have AJ Lee right now, why she retired from pro wrestling, was because she had permanent issues with her neck. Now, with modern technology, maybe she's not having those issues anymore. I don't know. She also left WWE because of everything that was going on with CM Punk. CM Punk doesn't have issues with the WWE anymore. It is a different WWE from 10 years ago. Look at 10 years ago in the WWE, how times have just changed to what it is now. I think that if AJ Lee is cleared, that if her neck doesn't give her any problems, I think that she should come back to the WWE. But the reason why I'm not just going to bite off the end that says, oh yeah, but she's not going to come back, is because I've seen her on Instagram and I've seen her wrestling in the ring. Universal would probably be the only person that could tell us right now, but you know what, Universal, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, is it going to be AJ Lee? Because I think it should be AJ Lee. I think that the fans remember her enough. I think that there is a certain portion of fans who may not remember her body of work, but then again, I don't think maybe she did nothing really too spectacular when she was wrestling. I think she was ahead of her time when she was wrestling in the WWE, but I think that when she comes back, if she comes back, I think that she's the best person to put with CM Punk. And if you thought that whole entire match was wild there, the chaos didn't even stop in France. Because up next, we're talking about John Cena. He gave Logan Paul the fight of his career. Let me tell you about last night. That match between John Cena and Logan Paul didn't need any championship. That would have been a great match for Raw. But you know what? We got that match on a premium live event, the last one that we're going to have to see on Peacock. I think that even though it was John Cena's European farewell, right? He was saying, ta-ta, WWE, I'm going to go be a movie star. But I feel that for Logan Paul, that was his proving ground. That was the proving ground for Logan Paul. The longest match of the night. There were 6 matches. The longest match of the night was 26 minutes. And the participants in that match are Logan Paul and John Cena. They were the longest match of the night. And the thing about that is that you just don't go in there and get in with the GOAT and just go ahead and just pussyfoot around the GOAT. No, like you have to bring it. Logan Paul you might see Logan Paul as this, a YouTuber who does WWE. What I want everybody to see Logan Paul is a pro wrestler who does YouTube as well. The reason why I say that is because after that last night, if you don't believe that Logan Paul is worth his weight in salt, that match right there alone proved that that Logan Paul is here to stay. Logan Paul takes the craft of pro wrestling seriously. Logan Paul, he worked on his body, he worked on his promos. Granted, some things come naturally to people, and he was able to keep up with John Cena. One of the things that I learned going to pro wrestling school from Bubba and Devon Dudley is you never work down to anybody else. You make them work up to you. And I think that both men were trying to make each other work up to each other, because John Cena is known as the guy that only got 5 moves, Mr. 5 moves of doom. He broke out a lot more than 5 moves last night. He did a lot last night in that match, and I think that it raised the ceiling on LA Knight. He raised the ceiling on Logan Paul. Logan Paul could win the Royal Rumble. Logan Paul could main event WrestleMania. Logan Paul could win the WrestleMania main event and become a world champion. There's no reason after watching that match to why he couldn't do it. Why? Because if he hung with Cena, He could hang with anybody. Granted, people may say Cena can't wrestle or whatever it may be. Cena's a storyteller. That match told one hell of a story. That match could have easily been the main event, but it wasn't. It didn't have to be. Stop sleeping on Logan Paul. Let's go to the chat. Universal says that, Tristen, you're right. April almost broke her neck and spine the last time she was in the ring. She consulted with specialists and refused to have the surgery. April has not wrestled since then. She was diagnosed as not medically cleared and is still not medically cleared. The only way April can return is in a non-wrestling role. Did you enjoy yesterday's show? Well, did I enjoy yesterday's show? I think I didn't get to watch it live because it was too early in the afternoon. And, I had pre-birthday shenanigans the day before. Great time. And I think that it was good for what it was. I love the crowd. I love the crowd in France. I used to be one of the people that used to always say, why can't America be like this when we get wrestling? I went to MetLife Stadium and everybody sat there and they just watched. They were respectful, but they just watched. Why couldn't it be that they're just as rowdy as the France crowd, as even though the fans, and I know that Puerto Rico is America, but walk with me for a second. Then why couldn't it be as rowdy as the fans in Puerto Rico? And I think that first pay-per-view with Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico is the one that probably lit the fire. Then they went to France. All these countries are having such a great time watching it, and you just feel the energy. Why don't we do that here in America? I used to feel like these countries made us look bad. But after watching that and going to SummerSlam the month before, I looked at it like this. Maybe, just maybe what they're doing, it doesn't make America look bad. It's what makes us different, right? I felt that when I was sitting in the audience, I wasn't bored, but I was having a conversation with my friend Lewis. I was enjoying what was going on, but what I want to do is I want to be in a crowd like France, where they're singing and chanting the whole entire time. That's what they do with the soccer games. It's not something they do here in American sports, like in Japan. So when you watch Japanese wrestling, they're really quiet and they applaud. They're very polite. So I am no longer going to be a part of the people that say that WWE internationally is much better than it is nationally here, locally here in the United States. What I'm going to say is this. I'm going to say that it's different internationally. The way that they love their wrestling is a lot different than we love our wrestling. It doesn't mean that we love it any less, and it doesn't mean that they love it anymore. It's just the way that they love their wrestling. Like for me, I love my wrestling so much that I can't wait to come here and talk to you about it. Let's look at the poll. Right now, we got the votes coming in. Did WWE deliver with Clash in Paris? 2/3 of the audience say is yes. Paris was a huge success. And 1/3 says that some matches delivered. All right, let's go back to the chat one more time. We were talking about Logan Paul and John Cena's match, and Universal had this to say. Logan is the future. He has been anointed within. Many wrestlers leaving over the next year. Logan and others will be put into their spots. Tristen, if you ever go overseas, you'll quickly notice that overseas is another world and completely opposite in a good way to North America. Thank you so much for your comment, Universal. You get the first hand clap to the audience today. Look, I know that Logan is the future, right? I just want everybody else to understand that Logan Paul is the future of pro wrestling. Love him or hate him, listen to me. Your favorite wrestlers need, your favorite babyface wrestlers, because you should be technically liking the babyfaces, right? Your favorite wrestlers need somebody like Logan Paul standing across the ring from them. Good needs evil. Yes needs no, right? Imagine if I just had a poll where it was, did you enjoy, did WWE Clash in Paris deliver? Yes, it was a huge success. Yes, WWE failed in Paris debut. Yes, some matches delivered, right? It needs that opposite. It needs that yin to the yang. And I did a whole entire episode about Logan Paul a while back, and it was pretty much saying that WWE doesn't care if you don't like Logan Paul. Why? Because Logan Paul is the future. Logan Paul is not just a YouTuber. Logan Paul took the pro wrestling seriously. Look at his body, how he takes care of himself so he looks the part. When he has the microphone, he's just so cocky. When you look at Logan Paul's face, he has that punchable face. Makes you just want to punch his face off. Logan Paul spends time in the ring. Logan Paul is made for pro wrestling. Logan Paul is no longer a celebrity. He's no longer a YouTuber who does pro wrestling. If you're looking at somebody who's a celebrity that does pro wrestling, that's somebody like Jelly Roll. I appreciate what Jelly Roll has done, but Jelly Roll personally, to me, has not gained the respect of he's one of the boys. No disrespect. Maybe Jelly Roll will come back. I was pretty interested in what would happen seeing Jelly Roll there at Clash in Paris last night. Maybe he will be involved in something going on in the future. Maybe he'd be at WrestlePalooza. I don't know. But I tell you this, Logan Paul's the future. Stop sleeping on Logan Paul. Logan Paul, there's no reason why Logan Paul can't win Money in the Bank. There's no reason why Logan Paul can't become King of the Ring. There's no reason why Logan Paul can't win the Royal Rumble, because if you watch that match that he had with John Cena last night, he's ready. I am afraid for John Cena. How am I afraid for John Cena, you ask? Because Brock Lesnar's coming. Brock Lesnar is watching. He's looming. And I'm talking to you, and I need you to understand me that Brock Lesnar is dangerous. Brock Lesnar put John Cena down at SummerSlam, only for John Cena to come back a couple days later on WWE programming, walking around. He acknowledged that Brock Lesnar is dangerous, but he needs to be watching his back. Last night when John Cena won that match, it made 100% sense for Brock Lesnar to come out. Because you know what? John Cena's sleeping. Now, we don't know what's next, right? We haven't got anything to tell us that John Cena is going to be at WrestlePalooza with Brock Lesnar. We don't know that yet. We could assume that because of what we've read on the internet and what we've talked about here, but we don't know that. What if John Cena gets another match and we're just reserving John Cena we're just reserving Brock Lesnar for that final match? There's a lot going on here to unpack. But this is what I want to ask you. As a fan, has Logan Paul officially earned your respect as a wrestler, or are you still not sold? Are you not sold on Logan Paul? Going back to the comments, and I'm going to answer that question in a second. Universal asked me a question. This is why you got to come here live. Come here live. Right now, looking at the poll, it's 50-50. Some people are mixed about Clash in Paris. Did it deliver? And some people are saying it's a huge success. It's split 50-50 right now down the middle. Lock in your vote. Nobody said no. So I'm assuming that Clash in Paris was pretty good. But if you say no, jump into the comments and tell me why, because I'm curious. I'm interested. Universal said to me, Tristen, were you expecting Brock at yesterday's show? He said that he can confirm that Brock versus Cena will happen at Palooza. It's not a rumor. It's a spoiler. Now, for those of you who don't know, we have Universal here. I see Universal making his rounds on other live podcasts. I think that Universal's thing that they like, and I say they because I don't know if it's a male or a female. It's a mysterious person. Maybe one day I'll have Universal on the show. But I enjoy Universal coming in here and dropping the gems that they drop with us, because I would like to see Brock versus Cena at WrestlePalooza. I always said that John Cena had to walk through the door of Brock Lesnar in order to become a star, and he has to walk out the door of Brock Lesnar if he's going to leave. He's not going to leave the same character-wise, but I don't think that Brock Lesnar should be the final opponent for John Cena. While John Cena is writing the last lines in his book, I want somebody to be getting another chapter written in theirs. Universal says, Tristen, did you enjoy the reveal at the end of the show? I loved the reveal. And the reveal we're talking about is Becky Lynch, right? I loved it. It's about damn time that they put Becky and Seth together. There were so many opportunities that they could have really done it, and I think they might have done it one time before in the past. But this is the time right now to where it really makes sense. At the end of WWE on the pre-show, on the post-show, they were asking the question, is Becky Lynch with the Vision? I believe 1,000% that Becky Lynch is with the Vision. I'll tell you why. Listen to me. I'll tell you why. Becky Lynch was overheard saying in the ring, we are the Vision and we run things. That's what she said. I'm so glad that she's going to be officially the first Paul Heyman girl? Right? Becky Lynch, she is a future Hall of Famer. Everybody standing in that ring last night was a future Hall of Famer in that match. And I love the reveal. I can't wait to see now. You know what? I can't wait to turn Monday Night Raw on and see exactly what happens. The reason why Brock didn't show up was, this is from Universal. Brock was at his son's hockey tournament all weekend. You know what? Family first. I think one of the biggest flexes anybody could have is being a family man. Let's go back to that question. Has Logan Paul officially earned your respect as a wrestler, or are you still not sold? I'm selling you on Logan Paul. I'm selling you on Logan Paul. Logan Paul jumps off the top rope, Logan Paul doesn't have to do that. Why? Because he's Logan Paul. All he has to do is just come, make the money, smile, put on a few decent matches, post on YouTube, and just keep coming back because he's bringing that YouTube audience over. Before Logan Paul coming into the WWE, I had no clue who he was. I look at a little bit of his YouTube stuff to see what he does now, because I'm a YouTuber. I love to see what everybody's doing. But Logan Paul, he's earned my respect. Logan Paul is one of the boys. Logan Paul is a pro wrestler. Logan Paul is not just a pro wrestler. Is not just a YouTuber who does pro wrestling on the side. He's not a Mr. T. He's not a Lawrence Taylor. He's not a Bad Bunny. He's not a Jelly Roll. He is in the WWE. He is on the roster, and he's taking this thing so damn seriously. You got to go ahead. You know what? Let me go ahead and give him a hand clap right now. Okay, let's see. Universal dropped something right now. And Universal said that, Tristen, at the end of the show, Rebecca said, we are the Vision. Does that mean that Becky's the fourth member in the Vision? Again, I stress the words, we are the Vision. Think about that for a minute. It's a play in words, if you know what I mean. We are the Vision. So saying that her and her husband are really the Vision, with Paul Heyman pulling the strings in the back, and that Bron and Bron are just there to latch on right now? I don't know. You gave me such a conundrum. I don't know what to think. Look, I appreciate hearing the gems that Universal has to drop, but now he's got my mind all topsy-turvy. I don't know what to think right now. But I'll tell you this, though. I'm excited to see what is next for Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I'm excited to see what is next for the Vision. What about Seth Rollins? I mean, what about Paul Heyman? Paul Heyman got hurt. So who's going to be the one running the show? Is it going to be Becky? I don't know. We just have to keep watching. It just keeps getting better and better. I swear to God, it just keeps getting better and better. If you are a pro wrestling fan and there's somebody that lives in your house and they're not a pro wrestling fan, bring them on board. Bring them on board at such a great time. From a star proving he belongs to a team that feels stuck in neutral, let's talk about the Wyatt Six and the Street Profits. The match had strong action. For me personally, maybe I'm not watching WWE SmackDown enough. I don't know. But for me, it was really unclear for who were the heels and who were the faces going into that match. That should never be the issue. It should never be who were the heels and who were the baby faces going into the match. Yeah, and if you're looking at regular pro wrestling psychology, the baby face goes first and the heel takes over. Babyface makes a comeback, then they go to the finish, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, our person's won. But wasn't the Street Profits a heel team just a couple months ago? Are they still a heel? What about the Wyatt Six? When the Wyatt Six first debuted, were they a heel? Were they not a heel? We're not using the word tweener. Tweener is not an official term. It's either heel or face. There should be no gray area in wrestling when it comes to that. You should either be heel or you should be face. That's what you should be. No left, no right, up and down. It's just left or right. That's all it is. When the Wyatt Six came back, I think the Wyatt Six was too cool to be the baby faces. We really wanted the Wyatt Six. We get so excited about what they do. That debut in the first month that they had back in the WWE was amazing. But now the issue is, so what do they do now? What are the Wyatt Six really doing now? We don't get that, the cool scene to where they leave everybody laying anymore. We don't get that. Why don't we get it? Maybe it's because the Wyatt Six was a little bit too cool. One of the things that I was going to touch up on was that, in my notes here, was that Dawkins, a lot of people want Montez Ford and Dawkins to split the heel profits, to go their separate ways. You want to know what I think about that? Because Universal just sparked that right now. Universal says in the chat, I highly dislike even the idea of breaking up the street profits. A very bad idea if they do. Yeah, I agree. Let me tell you why, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. I'm afraid for Angelo Dawkins. Because Angelo Dawkins is the Robin to the Batman. He is the Flavor Flav to Public Enemy. He's the hype man. They come together as a package. If you split the two of them up, you automatically know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that Montez Ford is going to rise to the top. But what about Dawkins? I don't want the guy to get released. The guy has a lot of value there. There's no reason that you have to break the street profits up in order for them to succeed. They can still be singles champions separately. I am not saying that Dawkins is not a good wrestler. I'm not saying that by any means whatsoever. What I am saying, however, is that Dawkins needs Montez Ford. It's kind of like having that person to where you feed off their energy. And I think that without having Montez Ford in his corner, there or at his side, there's nobody for Dawkins to feed off the energy. He would have to come back with a whole entire gimmick change. And what would he be? What would he be? Dawkins is not a bad wrestler. He's not a slouch. If you first saw Dawkins when he first got into the WWE, you see that his body was different. He's worked in his body. He's out there always wrestling with Natty, with Natalia Neidhart at the dungeon school that her and TJ run for the wrestlers, which I think is great because wrestlers in the WWE are no longer getting that extra road time through house shows because house shows happen a lot less. So for her giving somebody like Angelo Dawkins the ability to learn and they can all come into an ecosystem so they can help each other in the dungeon, Angelo Dawkins can work. He can wrestle. But I don't think that he can survive in the Shark Tank, in the aquarium of the WWE by himself. He needs Montez Ford. Think about it, Jeff and Matt Hardy, right? Jeff and Matt Hardy were great together. Or even let's lose Edge and Christian. We're not talking about Cope and Christian Cage. We're talking about Edge and Christian. Edge was the bigger star of the group once they split. They needed each other to survive. Christian is good. Christian's not a bad wrestler at all. But it was just something about Edge that he was just able to break through and shine. It's the same exact thing with Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu was in the bloodline. He was able to break through and make a name for himself and to make you pay attention to him. I think right now, we're paying attention to Angelo. We're paying attention to Montez Ford. But Angelo Dawkins hasn't given us a reason to pay attention to him yet. Universal, I need to find out who you are. Can you message me on Instagram at @TheRealBigTris? I'll kayfabe it. I need to know who you are. If you're a WWE insider, I need to know. I'm not going to tell anybody, I promise, because we're going to kayfabe it. If we do get you on the show in the future, don't worry, I'll obscure your face because I don't want your face shown. Maybe even put in a voice changer for you. Because you drop a lot of gems. Or maybe you're just a pro wrestling fan who really understands pro wrestling. I don't know. But I'm so glad that you're here. Still on the topic of the Street Profits breaking up, Universal would say best example would be Harlem Heat after they broke up Stevie who? You're right. You're right. After they broke up, Stevie Ray still had to be attached to somebody. They attached him to Ahmed Johnson when he came in there to make Harlem Heat 2000 or whatever it was. I'm not saying that Stevie Ray is a bad wrestler. He's not. He's not. I think he's good as his brother, but his brother just had that charisma that brought him up. Keep the guys together. There's no reason for you to separate them at all. Keep them together. There's no reason to why they can't say, you know what, maybe they could run an injury angle if that's what they need to do. Run an injury angle and then let Montez go ahead and do his thing, right? While Dawkins is injured. And then when they're done with that experiment a little bit, put them back together. Even the thing with the Usos, right? I am not going to lie. I've been watching the Usos since day one, and I'm not even trying to be funny. I've been watching the Usos since day one. And before they broke them up and let them go their separate ways, I couldn't tell who was who. To me, they were just the Usos. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella, I used to date this girl one time, and she used to watch Total Divas, and she could tell you who is who. I can tell you who is who. I don't know who they are. Right now, Nikki Bella's the one that wrestles. Right now, Jey Uso's the one with the yeet. I can tell them apart. I can tell Jey Uso apart from Jimmy Uso just by looking at his face. And listening to him talk. But it's like they needed to go away from each other to go find themselves. Sometimes in a relationship, you need to break up in the relationship. You need to break up with your boo. Break up with your boo before it becomes real toxic. Go find yourselves and then go come back. Right now, we're still at 50% with how did WWE deliver in Clash in Paris? 50% yes and 50% mixed. 0% say no. I don't know. Universal says, spoiler, Usos will be getting back together soon. Don't tell anyone. You know what? Your secret is safe here with me. Yeah! Going back to who was the heels or the face in that match with Wyatt 6 versus the Street Profits for the belt. The heels are the Wyatt 6. Why? Because Uncle Howdy and Nikki Cross, they interfered into the match. They helped steal the win. Right? That's heel behavior. So if I'm going to say something, they were the heel. But my whole thing is that I still want the Wyatt 6 to feel dangerous. They don't feel dangerous anymore. They just feel like, the Wyatt 6 to me just feel like just another tag team. I want them to feel dangerous. I want them to feel like, yo, when you see the Wyatt 6 coming, you know what? I think I left something well over there. Let me go ahead and get that. So I want to pose this question to you because I know a lot of you are not able to watch live. A lot of you guys are watching on demand. A lot of you guys are listening to the audio only section. Maybe you're listening on Spotify, wherever. Here's the question for you guys. Should WWE keep the Street Profits together for Dawkins' sake, or is it time for Montez Ford to go solo? I answered that question already. I want to hear from you. And speaking of things that didn't quite click, we're going to be talking about Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. They had a match that had a lot of us probably scratching our heads. I think one of the biggest things going into that match was the chemistry, right? Maybe they had a little bit of timing miscues. And I don't want to blame Becky Lynch for that, who won the match. I don't want to blame Becky Lynch. Maybe I don't want to blame Nikki Bella as well, too. Maybe I want to blame it's the new ecosystem for the way the WWE is shaped. Maybe Nikki Bella hasn't had that much experience with fans, with a live audience. Let me tell you something. I'm talking to you as Tristen Law, semi-retired pro wrestler right now, not as your podcast host best friend. It is one thing to train in a controlled facility where it's just wrestlers or trainers standing outside the ring and just watching you wrestle. It's something else for you to do that in front of live people. Every time that I went out, I always had anxiety. Didn't know it was anxiety until I went to therapy. Another discussion. The anxiety that comes upon you because you're like, oh my God, what if I forget something? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if when Nikki Bella walked out there and everybody started cheering on their reactions, it hit her like a wave in the ring and she just lost her mind, didn't know what to do? There was one time where Nikki Bella was in the corner, she was coming off with the kick, and the joke on the internet was that she was kicking John Cena, or maybe she was kicking little Jimmy because, you can't see them. At that point, Becky Lynch was still selling. It wasn't time yet, right? If she had taken 1 second to just look behind her, she would have seen exactly that. All right, maybe Becky Lynch wasn't in position yet. I don't know. I felt that whole entire match felt flat until like the last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes of the match didn't work. It didn't work for me the last 5 minutes of the match. I mean, the whole match before, it was like 13 minutes. The first 8 minutes of the match was nothing for me. I'm like, wow, what is going on here? But the last 5, it worked. Universal says that Rebecca, Becky Lynch, and Stephanie, Nikki Bella, they don't like each other. Unfortunately, it clearly showed in the ring yesterday. And you see, that's where they have to, if that is the case, they need to learn to be professionals. I've worked in the room with people I didn't like. I've worked in the room with people I didn't care for. For me, I put whatever it is, how I feel, below the expectations of the fans. We know that pro wrestling, WWE particularly, is not cheap. And especially on the indie level, for somebody to come and give $20 to come sit down and watch me and a bunch of other people wrestle, I need to always make sure that I always give the best match, whether I liked you or not. Pro wrestling is like a real job. It's like your regular job. There's some people that you like, and there's some people that you don't like. So, but you just have to learn how to still work together. Go out there, let the music play, you do the work, and then you leave. But is it ring rust? Is it a lack of house show reps? Hey, Jimmy Kimmy came in here with Yeet. Yeet back. Yeah! What is it? Could it be ring rust? Ring rust is real. In your ring rust, when the people say that there's ring rust, that's where your timing is off. You have to go back in there and get your timing back. I don't think it was a little bit of ring rust. I think for Nikki Bella, I think that the issue was that it might be just a lack of reps, right? You just can't wrestle and then come back and just wrestle and just think that you're going to get it. She needs more time in there. She needs more, maybe she needs more time in the ring. Maybe she missed out on that opportunity with Liv Morgan, didn't get that extra rep that she needs, but she needs that extra rep. They need to get it together. If she being Nikki Bella, is going to be the sidekick to CM Punk, while CM Punk takes on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, they need to get it together. Maybe sometimes it takes a few matches for your chemistry to get right. Maybe sometimes you get in the ring and you don't respect people. I know there's people I got in the ring with that didn't respect me. And I know I got in the ring with people I didn't respect either, but I know by the end of the match, some of them I respected them. And I know damn sure for a lot of them that I got in the ring with, they gave me my respect in the end. Because you might have heard about me, but you never seen me. And when I get in the ring and you be like, oh, wow, this guy can do this guy can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Because for me, I'm all about the bigger picture. I'm all about putting on the best show for these people that spend their money. The question I want to know is, would a rematch hurt or hurt? Would the rematch help or hurt both women? Jimmy Kimmy checks in and says, yes, it's ring rust. Ring rust is the reason why. It could be the reason why Nikki Bella wasn't there. Look, it's different to practice in front of in a warehouse or in a personal ring or at a wrestling school versus practicing in front of 35,000 people in France that are chanting every single minute. I wonder if it's a long weekend for them like it's here for us in America. Because, do any of them have voices? How are they going to even talk to each other? What do they just do? sign language when they woke up today? I don't know. Thank you so much for your comment, though. I think that a rematch would help them. I think that if they got in there and just did it again, I just don't see Nikki Bella just walking away and them just saying, we're never just going to do it again. That was terrible. Give it a chance. Give it one more match and let's see what these ladies can do. Right? I'm maybe not take the belt off of Becky Lynch right now, but let them get that other match in and show everybody, because I always tell people, from wrestling, my mentality is that you're always as good as your last match. And for me, the way I look at it, we're always as good as our last podcast episode. And for me, sometimes I do an episode, I'm like, damn, after I'm done and I sign off, I'm like, damn, that sucked. But sometimes I get out of there, I'm like, yo, that was real good. I watch every episode back. And sometimes the episode is sometimes I find an episode that I felt that was so bad, I just can't even watch it back. I can't even stomach to watch it back. The thing is that we are our own worst critics sometimes. You guys might tell me, oh yeah, that show was good. That show was good. But I think that the show was the drizzling shits the whole entire time.
Thank you.
Do you want to see Nikki Bella one more time in a program, or should she just close the chapter for good? Should Nikki Bella just take her stuff and just go home and we never see her again? That's for y'all to answer. Now, if Becky and Nikki were a little off, Rusev and Sheamus, they brought the exact opposite. They brought pure chaos, violence, and a fight that you can feel through the screen. I was watching this match and I'm like, what the hell is a Donnybrook match? Well, you got to know what a Donnybrook is. And a Donnybrook is pretty much a brutal, chaotic match, and that's what they had last night in Paris, or yesterday evening in Paris, or yesterday, it doesn't matter. At Clash in Paris, that's what they had. It was brutal. It was chaotic. We saw chairs, we saw barrels, and we saw tables. Watching that match with Rusev, it made me ask myself this question right here. That stuff that Rusev did in AEW. What the hell did they ever do with Rusev in AEW? I don't think that they did anything with Rusev in AEW. That the Rusev that we have now, Rusev is not Miro by any shape or form. Rusev is not Miro, and Miro is not Rusev. The stuff that Rusev has been doing since his return, I keep talking about people that are dangerous. Rusev is dangerous. When he went to AEW as Miro, maybe it was just Survivor. Maybe he just didn't know what he was going to do. So it just felt safe for him to go wrestle at AEW. So he did that. He wanted to keep the lights on, and he wanted to make sure his cable bill and his cell phone bill was paid each month. You know what? Bravo to him. Because that's exactly what happened. But Miro, my bad, ain't even mean to call him Miro. But Rusev in the WWE right now, I feel like this guy is on the path to getting a bigger house. That this guy here, Rusev, is a future champion. I know 100% that I want to see a future match between Rusev and Sheamus. Maybe a best out of 7 match. I don't know. Maybe they could spin the block and run it back again. I don't know. But Rusev to me feels like 100% a world champion. Rusev is only a mid-card guy. He's always been a mid-card guy. He was a mid-card guy in WWE. 3-time United States champion. And he was a mid-card guy in AEW, 1-time TNT champion. And who really cares about the TNT championship, right? I don't know, my bad AEW people. I didn't even mean to offend you. I'm just saying something. But I feel that after watching these two guys here beat the crap out of each other, that they are Sheamus is a GOAT. Sheamus is a GOAT. But I'm talking about people like Rusev. Rusev is the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Let's look at the comments, because Universal's checking in. He said, Tristen, would you say that Nikki and Punk and AJ non-wrestling versus Becky and Seth, do you think the fans will enjoy that? if AJ Lee is there, AJ Lee needs to get the lick back on the strength of her husband. She needs to get her lick back. But it wouldn't make any sense if she gets physical and she can't be touched. I don't know. So they would have to have another girl in there. For all that, I would say just not put AJ Lee in there at all. Let her do her thing. Let her stay home and watch the dog while Punk goes out to do his thing. I don't know. I seen her wrestling on Instagram, Universal. Maybe she's not medically cleared now. Maybe what she's doing is secretly running around getting medically cleared, because from the way I see it, the way that it could work in the WWE, the way that I see that it could work is that it don't take much to get a contract signed. It's only a conversation with the doctor. You go see the doctor, you bring everything back, and WWE says, great, in the meantime, sign this contract. AJ Lee could be signed to a contract last minute. She's actually signed to a legend deal right now with the WWE. I'm sure you know that. So my whole thing is, I don't want to see AJ Lee if she's not going to be physical. For all that, just put Nikki Bella in there. Universe says that Rusev was getting the win was perfect booking. Stephanie's contract is up soon. Is Rusev, Steven's contract is up soon. Is Rusev a future world champion? No. I look forward to Rusev's upcoming feuds. I disagree. Rusev is a world champion. You know what? Fine. Here's the only reason why I could agree that Rusev is not a world champion. Because you haven't heard him on the mic and he's not cutting a promo. He's going to need somebody to do the talking for him. Where's Lana? Did I say AJ Lee's on a Universal deal? No. Lana's on a Universal deal. I just got names and stuff and numbers mixed up in my head. Maybe AJ Lee's on a Universal deal. I don't know. We're not talking about that right now. But looking at the whole entire thing, Rusev could be a world champion, but he just needs somebody to talk for him. So maybe Lana's sitting at home doing nothing. Maybe she could come back. I hope she drops the Russian accent and just does what she does and just be who she is. I don't know. Would you book Rusev in a best of 7 match with Sheamus, or just push him forward into the next feud, possibly being a world title feud? His next feud is not a world title feud. Not by any means, shape, or form. Maybe in a year from now, we can see how everything looks out right now, but definitely not in a title feud for Rusev. It's not happening. I don't see it right now. This is only, his second feud since he's been back? And I, in my crazy brain, want to put him in a world champion feud? No, I said future. I didn't say next. I said future world champion. The next feud that he has, I'm agreeing with Universal. I can't wait to see who he gets put against. And then we had Roman Reigns. We opened the show with Roman Reigns. We had deliberate. We had powerful. And Roman Reigns still proving why he carried the WWE for so long during the pandemic. That match was the perfect match to open up the show. And this is another event in a row where I've said it. The first match is just as important as the main event. I'm telling you, this is pro wrestling booking 101. That first match sets your tone. That first match is the once upon a time. The first match is the way when you're watching a movie and something just blows up right away and there's the fight scene and chase scene, and then you slow it down to bring us back to the crescendo, to the climax. Becky Lynch low blowing CM Punk. Even though that match was the first match, it felt like it was the main event. It felt like it had a big fight feel. Roman Reigns is doing such a great... You know what? Somebody asked me yesterday at work. I got a real job. This is not my real job yet. Somebody asked me at work, do I feel that do I think that Roman should be back in the title picture? And the way I answered it was just like this. No. I like that Roman is not in the title picture right now, but I like that he's utilizing the residuals from being champion so long, the residual from being that damn good for so long. I'm glad that he's using the residuals from that to help make other main eventers. I like the style that WWE is doing now, that you can easily plug somebody out of a main event and plug somebody else in. Because when somebody gets hurt and injuries are inevitable, they're unavoidable in the sport that we call pro wrestling. But you don't want it to be an environment to where you got 4 people at the top in each division, and then when one gets hurt, you're stuck like Chuck. Because then what do? You're going to have to figure it out. You're going to have to wait to see if you could build somebody up. You already got people on the back burner. People complain that they hated the fact that Seth Rollins had so many people that he was feuding with. You know what? That's where the long-term storytelling comes in. You get the ability that you can tell a story here now, take it off the pot, off the stove, let it cool, put this one on, and just keep interchanging them. Eventually, they're all going to tie themselves up. Right? Because when you're watching a movie, there's usually more than one kind of conflict. There's usually a main story and a minor story running. So every single character, every wrestler, they have a major story and a minor story. The major story could be the person that is standing across from them in the ring, and the minor story could be a personal something with themselves. So I like the fact that Roman Reigns is not in the championship picture right now. I like the fact that he's building future champion. Bronson Reed is a beast. Bronson Reed is a person that you need to be paying attention to. You need to be paying attention to Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, the Bron Bros. That's what I call them, the Bron Bros. I think that eventually Roman Reigns is going to circle back around to Seth Rollins. But CM Punk needs to get that damn belt back first from Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins, character-wise, did CM Punk wrong, and CM Punk needs his lick back. I'm getting asked by Universal, Tristen, do you want to see Rusev versus Black or Rusev versus Priest? Rusev versus Priest. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I want to see Rusev versus Priest. Because if that's what Rusev can do with Sheamus, imagine the way he can do with Priest. Put him in the ring with former world champions and just let their star power go up. And we haven't really seen much of Damian Priest. He's been in the cooler for a bit now. I don't think we've seen him since before SummerSlam, I'm thinking maybe. I want to see some more Damian Priest. That post-match attack, though, it was perfectly set up for the storytelling when it comes to the end of the night. And Bron Breakker's a beast. If you didn't know that Bron Breakker's a beast, newsflash, Bron Breakker is a beast.
Thank you.
I think that first time Bron Breakker might have dropped his own self on his head doing that first spear, the one that I'm showing you right now. But it's like Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed with Seth Rollins, they're this generation's version of The Shield. Listen to me what I mean to that. The Shield was a team of guys, of people that they said were the next generation. John Moxley, who is in there, he had to go elsewhere because the WWE wasn't who John Moxley was. I remember watching John Moxley versus CM Punk at the Indies. It might have been the Indies or NXT or someplace like that. That match was flowing around the internet. And I was like, this is not who we're getting. That's not Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was John Moxley light. We don't want the diet version of John Moxley. We want the full-fledged version with all the sugar and all the calories. Then you had Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins went on to make a good name for himself. I'm not saying that John Moxley didn't make a name for himself, because right now he's in AEW and he's doing his thing. But then you also got Seth Rollins doing this thing. And then you got Roman Reigns. I don't got to speak about him because we spoke about him already. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, the vision. They're the vision. They're the future. They are right now being built up to be the next main eventers one day. If you don't see it, open your eyes. WWE is working on building that generation. About every 8 to 10 years, it's a shift to where who's on top, because like Universal was saying, some wrestlers have to leave. Eventually, you just can't wrestle anymore. You find something to do wrestling outside of wrestling, or you collect all your money, you invest in your money, and you leave while your body's still good. Roman, outside the title picture, he's building credibility for the mid-card. He's wrestling mid-carders. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, the Bron Bros, are mid-card people. He's doing a good job with them. But here's my issue, though. The shoes. The shoes were an issue for me last month and the month before. All the time that Roman Reigns let this man take his shoes off his neck and run around him like it was sweet. I always said that where I came from, yeah, you might take my shoes, but you ain't gonna walk around with my shoes on and let me watch you walk around. I'm gonna take them off. I felt that Roman Reigns was soft. S-A-W-F-T. Soft.
Thank you.
For not going to go get his shoes back. But because of last night, I understand why Roman didn't want to get the shoes back. Those Jordans, the Air Jordans that Bronson Reed was running around with, let's say those were $200 worth of shoes. Because it's $200 each worth of shoes, let's call it $500. 5 and change plus tax. Roman lives in Florida. He might not be paying full tax, right? $500 plus tax. And then when he got the shoes back at the end of the match, you were giving them away. Yo, Roman Reigns didn't care about the shoes. That's what it clearly shows. I was worried about the shoes and the way it made Roman Reigns look, but Roman Reigns never cared about the shoes. But I don't care. You're not soft. Don't let no other man just run around and take away your shoes. The shoe saga was Roman Reigns flexing on everybody, letting everybody know that he got that tribal chief money. He's out there giving away the shoes. That was until Bron Breakker decided to show up. Did Roman Reigns giving away his Jordans to the crowd feel like respect, or was it just the ultimate flex? That's what we're talking about right now. Put that in the comments. Now, I like to, watching the PLEs, I like to give out end of show awards. Here are my end of show awards for the PLE. Match of the night is definitely John Cena versus Logan Paul. Hands down. That is the match of the night. Don't get it wrong. There's a second close one would definitely be Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns, but it's definitely John Cena versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul was able to hang with the GOAT for almost 30 minutes, 26 minutes and change. He was able to hang with the greatest of all time. Logan Paul gets the credit for that. The fans were so excited to see John Cena. They made the special songs for John Cena. That whole entire match, if somebody was watching pro wrestling for the first time and you had to pick one match from Clash in Paris to show them, the match that you're going to show them is that match. That's the match I would recommend. Moment of the night, Becky Lynch low-blowing CM Punk. You didn't see that one coming, did you? I know I didn't see that one coming, but it's interesting to see what the vision is going to look like. It's interesting to see what is next on WWE programming, and now you have to watch Monday Night Raw. You have to watch SmackDown. You got to watch NXT because you never know where they'll be. The most rewatchable spot in the whole entire event, the aftermath after Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns, has to be. Let's see. Universal's giving us the matches for tonight. And we're going to go check that out once he's done. We're almost done here, Universal. So as they say in the ring, take it home, brother. Moment of the night was Becky Lynch low-blowing CM Punk. Didn't see that coming. The most watchable spots in the entire event was Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. The whole entire aftermath, you had to watch it again. But if I had to pick one, it was Bronson Reed. It was Bron Breakker coming out of nowhere with the spear. It was Bron Breakker running from the top of the entrance just to go ahead and deliver the spear in Roman Reigns. The guy's a beast. It's something that you got to rewatch. Wrestler of the night, let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that can get wrestler of the night, but I think there's one person that really deserves it. And the one person that really deserves wrestler of the night, I think that person's name is Logan Paul. Logan Paul really went out there. Logan Paul really worked hard. Logan Paul worked in his craft. Logan Paul worked in his body. Logan Paul is good on the mic. Logan Paul is a wrestler. There are some people that are just born for this, and I think that Logan Paul is born for this. Logan Paul cares about wrestling so much. I think that Logan Paul is doing a great job in the WWE, and I think because of all the work he did last night, because he hung with John Cena, because he hung with the GOAT, Logan Paul is my wrestler of the night. Now, my question is, do you agree or disagree with my picks? Do you think another match stole the show in Paris? Universal is giving us the matches for tonight. He says number 1 is a Roman Reigns update. Number 2, we're going to get a Paul Heyman update. He was kind of right last time. Granted, stuff change all the time, but he's kind of right last time. Universal says number 3, the Raw Women's World Championship announcement. Oh, yeah, that's right. Totally forgot about that. What's happening with Naomi's championship? Number 4, the New Day and Grayson Waller versus the War Raiders and Penta. Okay. All right, could probably skip that one. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. All right. AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio for the IC Championship. I hope that's the main event. I hope that is the main event. The thing I love about pro wrestling right now is that you're getting good matches on Raw and SmackDown. If you watch Raw and SmackDown from 5 years ago, well, no, that was the pandemic, 6 years ago. If you're watching Raw and SmackDown from 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, you weren't getting main event style matches very often on regular television. But now the times have changed, that the PLEs are just something extra. We are getting big matches and feud blow-offs on PLEs. On Raw and SmackDown, you can always get the title change. You don't know if tonight AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw is going to get the championship that escaped him. The championship that he has not held yet, the Intercontinental Championship. He could take that off for Dominic Mysterio. But I'll tell you, thank you very much for your comments and for your participation, Universal. And I also want to thank Jimmy Kimmy as well, too. Right now, the poll, did WWE deliver with Clash in Paris? 60% said it was a huge success. 0% said no, that it didn't fail. And 40% said it was mixed. Some matches delivered. I agree. When you look at that Nikki Bella match, yeah, it kind of delivered somehow. But this is where we land. Clash in Paris, it wasn't just about filling time. It wasn't a fluff pay-per-view. It was about making every match count. No fluff, no filler, just stories being pushed forward. New rivalries being born, and if this is really the end of the Peacock era, what a way to close it, because now we turn the page. ESPN is next, and the stakes got higher, and damn it, ESPN, you're going to have to collect my $30 a month, because the fans here on the Tristen Law Show, the community, they want me to talk about wrestling. If I can't watch the PLE, right, I guess I'm going to have to give you the $30, right? I saw you got a deal that's bundled with Disney and Hulu and stuff like that. I guess I get the $30 a month. Maybe I can scale down on my Peacock plan just to get the regular Peacock plan because I want to watch Twisted Metal and whatever. But I appreciate that you guys are all here with me today. And I'll be back soon with another episode of the Tristen Law Show, because if you like what I did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Don't make me a little dirty secret. WWE Clash in Paris. I think that WWE delivered in Paris 100%. And I can't wait to see what WWE does next internationally. I am Tristen Law. This is the Tristen Law Show. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.